impose the NIPS style manual for 5 minutes. Do I have your permission, sir? Good morning, participants at this conference. You have failed the first test. At NIPS, when we greet and you don't answer, what you will do is you will all stand up and kick whatever is in front of you. That is NIPS style manual for us. Executive Governor, I have your permission. So all participants here will have to stand up because when I greeted, you did not answer me. They gave the permission in the first place. What we call artificial borders, dividing families across the lines imposed on us by the colonial masters. Of course, it is difficult when you have some Yorubas in Benin Republic who have kings and friends across the border, and of course, the same thing happens in the northern part of Nigeria. Now, if you have to solve this problem, we need to take a wider look beyond what we ordinarily look at. It is not very easy, and of course, immigration knows that, to impose a border on the land and say this is where people should not cross. But then, from what I've seen from the deliberations we are going to have, we are looking at it from the global perspective, which means that can we have an integrative border where even when you say you are a Nigerian and you have kings across the border, can we have an integrated border? Is there anything we can do to ensure that we mutually respect those physical lines that we do not see? We have a lot of other issues we have to look at, and I'm sure when I discuss my paper later in the day, we will be looking at what other things we can do to ensure that our borders are secure. A whole lot of things have been said by those who gave earlier messages, and it is clear what the challenges are. I'm not going to reiterate them, but I believe that this conference has been packaged in such a way that will enable all the stakeholders take a second look at enhancing border security in Nigeria. For us at NIPS, we talk about policies, we talk about strategies, and we are always willing and able to support any agency that gives us the opportunity to work with them. I'm excited that over the years, we have always had interactions and dealings with the Immigration Service, and they have never disappointed us. Yes, don't forget that they don't only work with us while we are in Nigeria. NIPS does a lot of traveling, and wherever we have gone on the globe, we always have immigration services giving us the kind of support we require. So today, I told myself, in spite of other duties that I'm supposed to attend to in Abuja, I said this is the time to pay immigration back for all the good they have done to the National Institute. I want to offer, ma'am, that at the end of the deliberations, we will be willing to invite few critical stakeholders to the National Institute for what we call our own brainstorm session, so that we can help to refine the outcomes of whatever will be said, and at the end of the day we'll have a very concrete document that will enable immigration to basically pace itself. We give everything at NIPS. The only thing we cannot give is money. So we will offer that intellectual services, for free. The only thing you need to do is bring your people. It's free, but they will have to feed themselves. It's free. But and the accommodation is also not too free. It's only, but it's still free, because the most important thing is the intellectual services you will get. Madam, thank you so much. I wish all of us good deliberations, and I wish that by the way of this conference, we will be able to solve all challenges and problems that we engage at our borders at all times. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the service, sir, thank you for that free service. We will take advantage of it. At this juncture, may I invite for his goodwill message, the Director General Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, FCRC, Dr. Jobson Osel-Dion Ewalefo. Please, a round of applause.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Plateau State, ably represented by the Secretary of the State Government, Your Excellency, the ever youthful, vibrant, energetic, resort performing a true reflection of the Nigerian spirit, a true carrier of the mandate of Mr. President, the renewed hope for Nigeria, Honorable Dr. Bumi Tunji Ojo, Minister of Interior. Of course, my auntie, my mom, the Comptroller General of Immigration Service, Kemi Nana Nandam, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, Dr. Mandalin Ajani, service chiefs here present, reps of the General of Police, heads of paramilitary agencies, my very dear Egbon, the CG of Customs. You are most welcome. Royal Fathers of the Day, government dignitaries here present, of course, gentlemen.
Very sorry for that break in power. Please continue, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I've observed the protocol, and I want to align with that. I think it is not a mistake that the theme for this year's CGI conference is enhancing border security and migration management. And in choosing it, I think the Immigration Service are actually trying to do more to enhance the job they are doing, because I feel they're already doing a lot in that regard. And also to seek collaboration with other agencies on how this can be achieved. Because if you look at all what they are doing in the service, immigration has been in the forefront of the agencies of government that has embraced technology as a way of service delivery. And when you talk about securing our border, the world have moved on. We moved away from physical securing to using technology to secure the border. And the Immigration Service are doing a lot in this regard. Just like it was said before, that with the coming of the new CGI and with the oversight of the Minister of Interior, they have deployed the e-gate solution system, which is a border control management solution that they are going to use to manage the border. As the CG of Customs said, the Advanced Passenger Information System is something that has been deployed that very soon we will see it in effect. So a lot has been done. Our passport solution have been enhanced. Even the migration system is in place. So before now, I think the immigration are doing a lot. But we are gathered here today to seek way of collaborating with other agencies and improve on the service delivery they're already doing. And as the CG of Customs said, he said, wherever you see Taye, you see Kehinde. So wherever you see immigration, you see Nigerian Customs Service. And I'm happy to see that Customs also follows suit by embracing technology in carrying out the operation. That is why they have the modernization system of Customs. And what I would like to say here is that I want to see that synergy between what immigration is already doing and what the Customs has done recently, so that we can have our border well policed and effectively managed. So I seek that collaboration between the two agencies, and I know with the presence of the Minister of Interior today, he's going to sign off on that and ensure that both agencies have closer collaboration in terms of managing, securing our borders. And as a PPP agency, I want to say that with what Immigration Service have done in terms of the achievements securing our border, they have done so without any money from the federal government. They have attracted private sector funding in doing this. Most of their projects are done through public-private partnership. And I think it's a good initiative, and I want to implore all the agencies of government to embrace PPP in managing
Nigeria,
their
a land of vast opportunities,
services and improve and give Nigeria the sweet experience. The Nigeria Immigration Service is one of the agencies of the government that was first to give Nigerians the renewed agenda of Mr. President. With the coming on board of this administration, Nigerians were first to see the renewed hope through the Immigration Service by most of the things they do in their passport administration, clearing the backlog and giving Nigerians a better experience. So I think we are gathered here to see how they can do more. So I want to beg everybody, as we sit down here with other sister agencies, government functionaries, we should please brainstorm and see how Nigerians can get the dividend of democracy, how we can attract private sector funding to improving our service delivery, how we can free up more budgetary allocation to give more social service to Nigerians. So I wouldn't bore you with more rhetorics, because I'm here to give a Goodwill message and not a keynote address. I want to thank you and wish you a better deliberation.
Thank you very much. At this juncture, I'd like to invite for his Goodwill message the Goodwill message of the Director General of DSS, Adeola Oluwatosin Ajayi, who is ably represented by the Director, Security Enforcement, Kure FSI. Please a round of applause as he speaks on behalf of the DG.
the Honorable Minister, the representative of His Excellency, the Governor of the state, Plateau State, our very distinguished host, other service chiefs and their representatives, very distinguished former heads of the Nigerian Immigration Service, traditional rulers that are present or their representatives here, distinguished participants, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I've already taken off my mind. I didn't know I was going to have opportunity to speak again. When the CG Customs spoke, I thought he was speaking for all of us, so I've relaxed. I'm taken aback. But notwithstanding, I have the singular privilege and honor to speak on behalf of my DG this afternoon or this morning. My DG would have loved to be here, but for what I believe the host herself knows, imperative of interagency cooperation, he had to sign me out from the office to be here to represent him. And the only thing he sent me to say is to assure the CG Nigerian Immigration Service of the readiness, willingness, and ever willingness, of course, of my service to cooperate with her towards ensuring her success and the success of the Nigerian Immigration Service. And indeed, every other service that is here and that, of course, whether here or not, works for the security of the nation. Now, talking about the theme of this conference, I was just whispering to the Honorable Minister when I discovered I was not likely going to speak, that yes, the team is very timely, but the team is behind the minister and the current Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service. What do I mean? Since the day the Honorable Minister came into office, and then of course with the new CG, we know the innovative steps that they have taken towards the proper and effective management of our borders. Now, having gone ahead of this team, and for them to still take it as the team for this year's conference, only goes to underscore the importance that the minister and the CG place on the management, the effective management of our borders. So on that, we want to recommend the minister, despite the innovative steps they have taken, they still want to hear more from us. And sir, what I would recommend is that maybe when we go into plenary sessions, I take the permission of my Director General, National Institute for Policy. Sir, Professor, sir, you are my boss, what you taught me. I want to recommend to them, or to us, when we go to plenary sessions, that maybe we need to look at some models. Let's say the Pakistani model. Pakistan has similar situation with us, but in terms of land mass of border, population, and then the security challenges. But then Pakistan adopted a model. Can we look at the efficacy and the weaknesses of this model? What can we borrow out of it? What can we take out of it? Maybe we can also look at the model of Donald Trump in the US. If he comes back, whether he's back or not is already there and is a subject of debate today. So can we look at some of these models? Let's look at the efficacy of these models. What can we borrow? What is it that they have that we don't have? What is it that is making it controversial that probably if we also implement here, that we can probably leave them out? So this is what I think we will be glad to see, that plenary session, our technical sessions should try to look at for the success of this year's conference. On this note, I want to appreciate the CG. I want to appreciate the Honorable Minister. I want to liken their desire and their zeal for effective border management to the zeal of the Gen Z generation trying to conquer the world when they've not even started. So, Honorable Minister and very distinguished CG, I keep reminding her that we were classmates. I mean, we served together we served the same year. We had the same NYC camp, 1988-89. Sorry for exposing you. You know, women, they don't like their age being known, but we served 88-89 with her. So I congratulate you, and I want to thank my DG for giving me the opportunity to stand in for him and to be part of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A beautiful round of applause, please. It's been a long day. We'll rush through the next set of goodwill messages in order to close early. At this juncture, I'd like to invite for his goodwill message, Dr. George Kelly, Director, Border Communications Development Agency. Please, a round of applause as he takes the stage. Time is fast spent. May I crave indulgence for brief goodwill messages so that we cannot keep our distinguished guests waiting for too long. Thank you very much.
The Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, here represented His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Plateau State, here represented the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, here represented my own brother and friend, the very cerebral Honorable Minister of Interior, Dr. Olabumi Tunji Ojo, the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, one of the most humble and the most accessible public servants I've ever met. The Comptroller General of Customs, with whom recently we traveled for a whole day to visit just one border community. I greet you, sir. Traditional rulers, top government functionaries, heads of security agencies, may I please lean on protocols that has already been properly established. Mine is going to be very brief. Our mandate as the Border Communities Development Agency of Nigeria is to fast-track infrastructural and socioeconomic development in the long-neglected border communities of Nigeria found around the fringes of the over 4,000-kilometer of Nigerian borders. And then we have about 3,000 border communities spread around 21 states and 105 local government areas of Nigeria. When the Comptroller General of Immigration was making a speech, I picked one word, synergy. When the Comptroller General of Customs was making his speech, I picked one word, synergy. And I want to commend both agencies for the synergy with which they have worked, which has increased and which has boosted security around the borders of Nigeria. I also want to thank them for opening up to us in terms of synergy. We feel we can do a lot with the immigration and with the customs in terms of infrastructure development and the socio-economic advancement of border community dwellers in Nigeria, and also to avoid project duplication for our host communities. Also, we feel that we can also make some level of contribution in terms of corporate social responsibility, building of forward operation bases, intelligence gathering, etc., etc. Let me use this opportunity to thank the Comptroller General for inviting the BCDA to this event. I want to thank her for being nice and kind and being accessible to the Border Communities Development Agency. And I want to assure you that we'll support you at all times to ensure you succeed. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Last but not the least, because of our time is fast spent, I would like to very respectfully invite, on behalf of the NIS family globally, to present his goodwill message, Ambassador Senator UK Umar, Acting CGI, TRDMNI OON. Please, a round of applause as he makes his way to the podium.
In the name of the merciful God of mercy, the Executive Governor of Plateau State, ably represented, our own Honorable Minister of Interior, all invited guests, kindly allow me to stand on the existing protocol. On behalf of myself, my colleagues at the front table, my colleagues at the back of the table, and all other people that are invited here, I would like to very sincerely thank the Honourable Minister for making it possible for us to be here today, as well as my own CGI for inviting us to be here today. Much has been said, and much is to be said again, but the time is far-fetched. I would like to say three things to our Honourable Minister and our CG. Our Honourable Minister, thank you very much for what you have been doing to Nigerian Immigration Service. We appreciate you, we congratulate you, and we want you to continue what you are doing for not only immigration but for Nigeria. The future is great for you, my Honourable Minister. My CG, appreciate you. We thank you for inviting us, especially most of us that are retired. But finally, I want to thank the Comptroller General of Customs. I didn't know he is here, and he took me back to so many years when they made me what I was at the President of Nigerian Basketball Federation for about 5 years. They have done a lot to me. They have done a lot for Nigeria. And what you are doing in Nigerian customs is much more than what we expected. We pray that you continue to do what you are doing. May the Almighty Allah continue to help you, to guide you, and protect you. So also the Minister and the CG. My colleagues, we want to thank you very much for finding time to be here. All invited guests that are here, we want to thank you very much. We appreciate you, and we pray. No, I'm trying to forget my DG, NIPS. My DG, I was a participant as far back in 1993, course 15. I am the first Nigerian immigration officer that attended NIPS. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate everybody that has contributed greatly to what we did. We appreciate you. We thank you. We hope that you will continue to do good for Nigeria and for the Institute. I am as one of the oldest member of the NIPS, I'm now the chairman of Kano Jigawa NIPS, and we appreciate you. We want you to continue what you are doing. On behalf of myself and my colleagues, both here and there, we want to thank each and every one of you. We pray Allah will continue to guide you, protect you, make things easy for you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you very much. A better round of applause, please. Very quickly, before I invite for his keynote address, our Honorable Minister, may I quickly acknowledge the presence of the representative of His Royal Majesty, the Jacob Gyang Bubwa, CFR, Bomgwam Jaws, who are seated very ably here with us this morning. His Royal Highnesses, the Edward Gyang Bot, the Dangwam Roy Barkinladi. Welcome, sir. He's also sat closely to him is His Royal Highness, the Reverend Professor Nuhu Gigi Dangata Gwamrei Gashishi. Your Majesty, you're welcome, sir. At this juncture, I have the singular honor and privilege to invite a man who is a working minister, who has transformed the landscape of the Nigeria Immigration Service with beautiful reforms that have set us on a trajectory of better and improved service delivery. Honorable Dr. Lububi Tunji Ojo, the Honorable Minister of Interior. Please, a standing ovation as he takes his way to the podium. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep that applause coming, please. Keep that applause coming.
Thank you. Please let's have a seat. Thank you. Let me start by hoping I'm not going to tap into the anointing of the DGICRC. You know, when he was talking, I know for a long time, power went off. So please, this one that you're seated behind me, I'm scared. I don't want to tap into the anointing. Yeah? Yeah, His Excellency Barrister Caleb Motwang, Executive Governor of Plateau State. Let me especially recognize my partner. I call her my Amazon, the dazzling damsel of the Ministry of Interior, our beauty and brain, my own, our own, Dr. Magdalena Jani, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Interior. Air Vice Marshal P.N. Amadi, representing the Chief of Defense Staff. Brigadier General A.U. Gomel, representing Chief of Army Staff. AIG Rex Dundum, representing the NSA. Rear Admiral H.S. Zago, representing Chief of Naval Staff. AIG Okoro Julius Alawari, representing the Inspector General of Police. The DG DSS, ably represented by my own brother. I want to welcome you. Simon T. Tiong, Director, representing our own boss, the SGF himself. The Secretary of the Board, of course, Alhaji Jafar Ahmed, OFR, Comptroller General, my own brother, the workaholic Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Bashir Adewale, MFR. I recognize you. And of course, Dr. George Kelly. You're welcome. We really welcome you. And Professor Ayo Omotayo. Thank God I've never been to NIMS. Because that exercise, after that exercise, you don't need to register in a gym. And Dr. Jobson Osedion Ewalefo, the DG ICRC, my own leader, and of course, an icon and the man I call symbol of the Nigeria Immigration Service, Senator UK Umar, Comptroller General retired. My own brother, Comptroller General DS Paradan, OFR. That's the man we call the homeboy in the city of Jos. And of course, CGIS Martin Kure Abechi will recognize you. And of course, please permit me to specially recognize the implementer of Renewed Hope agenda in Nigeria Immigration Service, the workaholic, the amazingly intelligent, and of course, a pride to the people of Plateau State, and a pride to the people of Ogun State, and I call her the symbol of the bridge between the north and the south of Nigeria, CG Kemi Nanananda. It is my pleasure to present this keynote address. I'm sorry I will have to speak off, from the heart, because to me, my aides they wrote some things for me, but I just think when you talk about border issues, we're talking about issues that are quite centric to the development and progress of our country. And as such, those ideas could not, to me, I don't think they should be theoretical. We need to be a bit practical. Let me say this, I'm very excited with the topic, which is enhancing border security and migration management. And I have to say this, as a country, we're finally woken up to the reality that we're only as secured as our border is. And we can only be as productive as how protective our border is. If you do not have a protective border, you cannot enhance internal security. And when there is no security, apparently there can never be productivity. Productivity is a function of security. And as such, Immigration Service, when I became Minister of Interior, we took a decision, and I'm happy we're beginning to see it. The decision was very simple. We inherited an Immigration Service that was more like a travel document issuing agency. And I said, issuance of travel document is too small a task for an agency that is tasked with border governance. Hence, the primary role of the Nigeria Immigration Service cannot be relegated for what I call auxiliary roles. The primary role of Nigeria Immigration Service is border control, management, and border governance. And of course, other ancillary and other sub-responsibilities. Of course, issuance of travel documents and all other issues. Those are secondary. The reason you don't need to be a paramilitary agency to issue travel documents. That's the truth. But the reason why you're a paramilitary agency is because there is a responsibility in the enhancement of internal security that has been given to you. And your ability to deliver on that determines your relevance in the architecture of our national security. The era when representation on the national security architectural map is based on assumption is gone. The era now is that your relevance will be determined by your proactiveness and ability to nip problems even before they come. Security all over the world is no longer reactive, it's proactive. And at this juncture, I'm charging the Nigeria Immigration Service in terms of border management, in terms of border security, in terms of migration management, and in terms of playing its key role in the national security architecture to be proactive. No longer are we going to just be reactive. I want to say this. We started by doing our border governance plan because we understood the fact you can't keep coming with cocktail of ideas without a balance and expect a solution that will stand the test of time. What did we do? We set up an inter-ministerial committee on border governance. We came up with our roadmap such that even beyond President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, there will be a working and a workable roadmap that anybody can come in and inherit. Government is in continuum. Government will always continue. And at the center of this plan, guess what? It's collaboration. That's the truth. Collaboration. There are two agencies per se, with exception of the key and the critical or the primary national security agencies like the DSS, the police, the military, etc. There are two key agencies in our border governance space that we cannot perform. We cannot achieve our aims without 100% collaboration with them. There are two agencies, and I will mention them, that independence of our individual agencies, not putting into consideration the interdependence between these agencies, will always be a risk to our national security. And hence, we decided, can we protect our borders without the customs? It's impossible. Let's call it spade a spade. Immigration handles people. Customs will handle goods. So the weapon, proliferation of weapons, smuggling, etc., that's customs. But who carries it? It's the man. So how do you differentiate between the two? It can only work in an arena of synergy and collaboration. When we all understand that we have nothing to compete for, but we have one thing to collaborate for, and that is Nigeria. And I'm so glad today that we have a Nigerian Customs Service that has given us more than enough cooperation. To the CG, I want to say big thank you. I want to say very big thank you. Because we've never had it this good. The customs, you go to our terminals, you see customs, you see immigration where they are, they collaborate with us, we share information, we work together. And that is an agency, Nigeria Immigration Service, in terms of implementing your border control responsibility, you cannot survive without. To me, you are twins, just as he said. And we must ensure that we further enhance that collaboration. The second agency, very key, at the center of our border governance plan, either we like it or not, is the Border Community Development Agency. If you do not get, I have always argued this, and I will argue it here again and again. The BCDA is more of a security agency than a civilian or developmental agency. Because how the borders, the border communities are the gateways. If you do not have the confidence of residents or inhabitants or indigenes of border communities, how do you earn their trust? If you do not earn their trust, the question is, how on earth will they share intelligence? That's the truth. So the BCDA, the whole idea of BCDA, all over the world, when you look at America and Mexico, you look at the development we have in the border communities in the United States, it gives you that confidence. If you go to any country in the world, the border communities are instruments of national security. That's the truth. As for me, the collaboration between Nigerian Customs, the BCDA, and the Nigerian Immigration Service, trust me, is all we need to have the right intelligence at the right time for actionable agencies to be able to act. Without actionable intelligence, there can never be security. So for the BCDA ES being here, for the CG Customs being here in person, shows that the border agencies are finally coming together as one indivisible body. Here not to work for individual agencies, but to work, not just to work for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but to work for one place that we all call home. One place we all hope generations yet unborn will see as home, and that is Nigeria. I want to say a very big thank you to you. I want to thank you. And let me say this clearly. Mediocrity in modern world has no place in border governance. That's the truth. Ability to keep threats away from your country, from your border, is safeguarding the people within your border. So I want to challenge each and every one of us here. Immigration officers, I want to challenge you. You know, I've always said this. When you do well, we say well done, but you can do more. The time to deliver, the time to create a shift, and the time to show the world that there's nothing wrong with our border security in Nigeria that cannot be made right by officers in uniform. That is the truth. The time is now. With what we have developed, just 2 days ago, we commissioned the first team of 123 officers that will man the Command and Control Center in Abuja. With the Command and Control Center, we have a view of our 4,047 kilometers. With that, we have a view of not less than 10 kilometers of radius. With that, we have an interaction and real-time interaction with even people in border communities. And with that, we have the ability to pre-profile people before they enter Nigeria. And what does this tell me? Before now, screening of immigrants, screening of people coming into Nigeria was subjective. But today, what do we have? We have objective screening process. Before you come into Nigeria, we will screen you. We go through all security databases in the world. If you are a person of interest in Indonesia, you are a person of interest in Nigeria. We have been able to deploy this. And also, very importantly, the visa. A lot of us do not understand that visa is not just an entry permit. Visa is an immigration regulation document. It's a security document. Today, we have said no more. If you apply for a visa anywhere in the world, if you like, go to UK, go to China, anywhere you want to apply for a Nigerian visa, approval will no longer be given there. Approvals will be given in Abuja. And what is the reason? We developed a visa application system in such a way that is integrated with Interpol I-247, with MIDA, with all our solutions, so that even if you apply, the system automatically screens you, looks at your background. Maybe you are a person of interest, you're a terrorist, you have this, you have... It is only when we confirm all this. And trust me, this is the era of technology. You don't need more than 24 hours to sort this out. But we believe, as a country, we will rather err on the side of caution than to be a victim of our own inefficiency. So for us, we are making sure we rework the whole architecture. So I want to assure you that under the supervision of the Ministry of Interior, the Nigeria Immigration Service is not just here to fulfill its mandate. It's here to excellently implement and fulfill the mandates. Before I go, if you get to the NIS headquarters today, you will see an 0.5 megawatt solar farm. Everything that we are doing, the command and control, the data center, the visa approval center, the personalization center, everything is off-grid. Because we know power, you can't take your eyes off security for a second. And we wanted 100% reliability with 3 layers of redundancy in terms of our power infrastructure. That is what we have been able to do. And I want to tell you this before I go. Yes, Nigeria has a border of 4,047 kilometers. But that is not the problem to me. The major problem that we have in our border is not the length of our border. The main problem that we need to solve, which is a complex problem, it is a problem, and as well, it could as well be an asset. And that is for us to understand that Nigeria is a country very key in the Sahel, at the same time, very key in the Gulf of Guinea. And this is a unique characteristic that only very few countries in the world, like Turkey, has. For you, and when you look at the Sahel, there are 10 countries in the Sahel. 5 of the 10 countries in the Sahel, they are part of the 5 poorest. 5 of the 10 countries in the Sahel, they are 5 of the top 10 poorest countries in the world. So economic issues will naturally provide a motivation for migration, irregular migration. That's number one. Then number two that we also have to understand is the issue of climate change, especially within the Chad Basin, which has caused a lot of crisis in terms of right of way, which is what we call farmer headers clash and a lot of issues. So what we are talking about is that as climate change continues to take its toll, immigration service will always be more challenged. We have to understand, you have to prepare for that. That's definite. 2, as much as there's a bit of instability within neighboring Sahel countries, the immigration service will always be challenged. That is number 2. And number 3, which is very key, is for you to also look at the GDP. As long as there's a dwindling of GDP within the Sahel, there will always be issues. As I said, we are a gate. This gate can be for our prosperity. It could be an asset. It could also be a liability. Over time, it's been a liability because you have the Sahel, 5 of the 10 poorest countries in the world, and you have the Gulf of Guinea that produces 5 million barrels of crude a day. So that is between starvation and wealth. People will naturally migrate. So we must understand macroeconomic issues. We must understand global dynamics. And we must understand the global echo effect in terms of global warming, climate change, and all the rest. As long as these factors, they are not under the control of NIS, we don't have control over these issues. But unfortunately, we have to bear the brunt. We have to sort the problem. We have to clear the mess of whatever happens. So for us, I want to challenge you. NIS is not an agency it's not a poverty alleviation agency. NIS is an agency for thinkers, for strategists, and people that are innovative. People that know that what needs to solve the problem, it's all about ideas, right ideologies. And before you find a solution, understand the problem. That was what led us to the establishment of a unit strictly for innovation. Because I realized you cannot solve a 2024 problem with a 1992 approach. That is the truth. A lot of us, even in our departments, most of our master plans, most of our ideas are outdated. Let us invest in research. And I'm happy that the DG of NIPS had graciously offered that support. I don't want us to take it lightly. Believe me, invest in research, invest in ideas, and the rest of the world will be running to catch up with you. If you do not invest in research and innovation, you will constantly be behind the rest of the world. But for us, we've taken a decision in the Ministry of Interior. We are a frontline ministry. NIS is a frontline agency. And you must continue to lead Nigeria on the path of national security, on the path of progress, and finally, before I go, I have to say this. We must understand that the borders, and this goes to both CGs, CG of Customs and CG of NIS. The border space now, globally, just like most countries in the world, a lot of countries in the world. I could remember 2 years ago, I was on a course in London School of Economics on issue of global dynamics or macroeconomic issues. And a lot of countries in the world, they're already establishing the fourth arm of their armed forces. The Navy, the Air Force, the Army, and the Cyber Force. They're not just seeing it as a directorate, they're seeing it as a fully fledged force. Because the next border that will be almost impossible to hold, to protect, is our cyber border, our cyberspace. I challenge you, you need to start thinking before the problem comes. And before I go, let me appreciate Mr. President, because the President gave us a marching order. And if anybody knows him, border security is at the center of what he talks about at every point in time. We don't have the luxury that other ECOWAS country has. What is that luxury? The luxury is that a lot of ECOWAS countries are surrounded by ECOWAS countries. So there's a single trade and migration protocol. But for us in Nigeria, or 4 of our neighboring countries, 2 ECOWAS, that is Benin Republic and Niger, and 2 are non-ECOWAS. So in terms of trade and even migration protocol, Cameroon and Chad is a challenge. So we understand this. But the President has challenged us to find solution. This is the era of renewed hope. And I said renewed hope is not about doing the usual. Renewed hope is about business unusual. It's about doing the unusual in a simplistic way that brings succor to the future of Nigeria. It's about understanding that we cannot continue to sacrifice our tomorrow for the sake of the convenience of today. The President took a decision to rather sacrifice today so that our children and children yet unborn will be able to have a country they will be proud of. And let me challenge you. As you sit here, as you sit there, I know the President has made up his mind. And what is that decision? To give his all to Nigeria. I know, I have, and a lot of us here, we've decided to give our all to Nigeria. But it takes beyond us to make it work. It takes you and I, each and every one of us, to make it work. The question, NIS officers, in terms of anytime you wear that uniform, what do you think about your retirement? I'm sure that Senator Umar, I'm sure that CG Paradan, I'm sure that CG Abeshi, they are happy seeing NIS progressing. What is the legacy that you will give? That is the issue. For me, it's all about legacy. Never see it as civil service. See it as selfless public service. Because the entrenchment and the delivery of the renewed hope agenda is not just for the President. It's not just for me as minister. My responsibility is policy direction. Implementation is yours. A direction without implementation is useless. I challenge you. Be our co-travelers. Challenge yourself. Give your all. And we can have an agency. We will finally, even in retirement, call and refer to as the pride of the nation. NIS has always been, and will always be, the pride of Nigeria. God bless you.
Please, I think another round of applause will not be too much. Thank you so much. I can tell you for a fact that the Honorable Minister is driven by his passion for a better Nigeria. It is his mantra that Nigeria first, Nigeria second, and Nigeria always. Please, again, one more round of applause. Thank you. At this juncture, I have the privilege to invite to address the Executive State the Executive Governor of Plateau State, Barrister Caleb Mutfwang, ably represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Nanchang Samuel Jato, FNIA, FCIML. Please, a beautiful round of applause.
Thank you very much. His Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by the Honorable Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, distinguished Senator George Akume, who is my boss, ably represented by Director, SGF's office, my friend Dr. Simon Tiongu, representatives of the National Security Advisor, representatives of the Chief of Defense Staff, representatives of the service chiefs here present, the Federal Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, Dr. Madeline Ajani, Secretary CDC FIB Alhaji Jafaru Ahmed, the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Kemi Nanda, PCC, MMIS, FSMN, our dear own, who we are very proud of and pleased with, the Comptroller General of the sister organization and the senior brother, our retired Comptroller Generals here present, the Director General of NIPS, Professor Ayo Motayo, my big friend, who said we should kick anything in front of us. I don't know how that rule will work, or sometimes you want to land us in trouble. Former Secretary to the Government of Plateau State and DG APIS, Professor Anlade Atu, who is my immediate predecessor. The Deputy Comptroller Generals of Nigerian Immigration Service and Assistant Comptroller Generals of Nigerian Immigration Service, Comptroller Generals of the Nigerian Immigration Service and other sister organizations, our royal fathers here present, officers and men of the Nigerian Immigration Service, distinguished invited guests, distinguished gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I bring you greetings from His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Plateau State, Barrister Caleb Manasseh Mutfwang, who is unavoidably absent. He would have loved to be here, but he sends his greetings, and he has asked me to represent him. Just like the Honorable Minister said, for those of you that know me, I'm not someone that likes to read speeches. I like to talk from the heart. But since I've been sent here, I'm doing as directed. So I will permit me to read His Excellency's speech. Now, it is with immense joy, gratitude to Almighty God that I stand before you today at this significant gathering, the Nigerian Immigration Service Comptroller General Annual Conference 2024. This event holds a special place in my heart because of its far-reaching impact on our nation's border security management and the assurance it provides on a global scale that Plateau State remains a safe and welcoming environment for business and investment. I am particularly delighted to welcome everyone who has journeyed to join us here, especially the Comptroller General of Immigration, our esteemed Kemi Nanda, whose leadership has introduced commendable initiatives for border security management. Her forward-thinking approach to employing advanced technology for border surveillance has been instrumental in addressing the challenges posed by illegal migration. The theme of this year's conference, Enhancing Border Security and Migration Management in a Globalized World, Challenges and Opportunities for Nigeria, could not be more relevant. it resonates with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renewed Hope administration aimed at fostering national unity, strengthening our economy, and reinforce peace across the country. I am optimistic that this conference will serve as a platform for thorough assessment and strategic planning in order to enable the Nigerian Immigration Service to better fulfill its mandate of effective border surveillance. Here we have an opportunity to examine emerging challenges, explore new pathways in border governance and migration management, formulate sustainable strategies to enhance national security and support Nigeria's economic interests. As a government, we are deeply committed to fostering greater collaboration with the Nigerian Immigration Service. This includes using cutting-edge technology for efficient border management and creating a conducive environment at both state and local government levels for secure data capture and biometrics, especially for rural dwellers, so as to empower them with essential travel documents to support business mobility and trade. Plateau State, as you know, has faced its share of border-related challenges, with individuals from neighboring countries sometimes entering without proper checks. My administration is ready and willing to work closely with the Nigerian Immigration Service to address these issues proactively and ensure that they do not escalate into larger security concerns. I want to assure you of my administration's steadfast commitment to supporting the Nigerian Immigration Service in any way possible to achieve its critical mandate of safeguarding our citizens and preserving our nation's unity and security. In conclusion, let me once again warmly welcome you to the beautiful and peaceful city of Jos, the home of peace and tourism, the best state in Nigeria with the best weather, the best food, the best people. I encourage you to make the most of our refreshing climate as you brainstorm and develop innovative strategies to make our country a safe haven for all. This conference is an opportunity not only for individual growth, but also for contributing meaningfully to the progress and stability of our beloved nation. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Please, a better round of applause for His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Plateau State, Barrister Caleb Mutfwang, ably represented by Nanchang Samuel Jato, Architect. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, please. Thank you again. Very shortly, I shall be inviting again the Honorable Minister of Interior to declare this event open on behalf of the Vice President. But before that, I'd like him to know how much he means to us. And I'd like to invite the 19th Comptroller General, K.N. Nandap, for a presentation. This presentation is in appreciation of the federal government for the massive support it has been giving the Nigerian Immigration Service in its operations, and particularly all of the beautiful contributions and reforms that the Honorable Minister of Interior has brought in the landscape of our service. Sir, this is a token that speaks to you of how much you're valued and how much you're appreciated. To present and do the honors is our amiable Comptroller General. Please, a round of applause as the presentation takes place.
Your Excellency, sir, words cannot actually say how much you mean to us. You have been more than a mentor. You have inspired us. You have pushed us. You have told us when you know we're not doing well. And you have always told us when we're doing well. In all of this, sir, we thank you very much. The plaque is just a token. But from all our hearts, we want to say a very big thank you to you. And we know all of this would not have been possible without you. We want to appreciate you, and we pray that God will continue to sustain you. And we pray that this synergy, this love, this support that you've given us will continue, and we'll pray that we'll never disappoint you. We'll continue to work hard the way you push us to do the best we can. We assure you that we'll continue to work with you. The whole of NIS appreciates you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Sir, very respectfully, if you may go back to the podium. Thank you very much. Please, a better round of applause for our CGIS and the Honorable Minister. At this juncture, I'd like to very respectfully invite the Honorable Minister to declare this conference open. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Before I declare the conference open, I made a blunder the other time, and thank you for giving me a second chance. Because I recognize the CG and, of course, the management team. I erroneously omitted the management team. I'll start it from my own Umana. DCG Works and Logistics, thank you. DK, Dr. DK, that's DCG Border, thank you. DDL, Son of the Soil. I don't know that second name, is botanical, you know, that your look. Please, I recognize you. And of course, MT Umar, DCG Passport, I recognize you. And of course, INE, DCG PRS, I recognize you. And Franca Dakat, right? That's DCG Visa and Residency, I recognize you. And Okoto, right? That's Okoto? Yes, DCG Okoto, I recognize you. And who is that? That's Daura, right? Daura, DCG Finance, yes, I recognize you. And Ademola, DCG HRM, I recognize you. So, each and every one of you. So, I just needed to recognize each and every one of you. And to the ACGs in the house, please, can you stand up? ACGs. We recognize the wonderful work that you guys are doing. Keep making sure that the flag remains high. And my baby, Ngozi, hello, I recognize you. Thank you. And all, please sit down. All controllers in the house, oh yes. Please, you are the ambassador of the service. Keep making us proud, all right? Your output, remember what I always tell you. Your output is my input. If your output is bad, my own input will be bad and the output will be bad. Keep making the president proud, all right? You're the best. Sit down, guys. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. So at this juncture, it is my honor, to the glory of God, on behalf of the father of the nation, the man that I know thinks, sleeps, eats, dines all about Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And as CG said, that I keep pushing them. Don't worry. I'm a professor in transferring pressure. When the president puts me pressure, I will transfer. You to transfer, okay? So on behalf of the president, it is my honor and privilege to, Director Legal. Sorry, Director Legal. Oh, sorry, I just saw you now. Sorry. Where's Titi? DFA, she's not here. Oh, Titi, how are you? Kemi, sorry. It is my privilege and honor to declare this program open, and it is my desire that this will not be a talk shop, this will be a workshop where your resolution, because I want to see the communique, I want to see the resolution, and you have to break your resolution, your decision, your communique down into implementable tasks of quarterly implementation plan over the next 4 quarters, because by the next time we're coming here for another conference, we want to have stock taking of how far we have gone. There has to be a performance metrics in terms of what we've done. So it is my privilege and honor, to the glory of God, to the benefit of Nigeria, for the future of Nigeria, in the interest of all of us that have decided to make Nigeria our number 1, our number 2, our number 3, and all to infinitum. It is my pleasure to declare this conference open. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. The conference is therefore declared open. We will take group photographs very shortly, but before that, may I pass some announcements quickly. All members of the high table, CGIS is retired, DCG is retired, current DCGs, and chiefs, and very special invited guests will please go upstairs at the end of the group photographs for the tea break, and the order of photographs is in this order, please. We will have the high table, and then the chiefs, as well as the retired CGs, and all the DCGs, and then we shall have NIS top management. Thank you very much. Shall we now rise for the national anthem as we draw a curtain to the first session? Shortly, we shall resume back for the plenary. Thank you very much. NIS band, national anthem, please. Thank you very much. The photographs shall be had at the front of the building, the door by your left or right, depending on where you're facing. Thank you very much.